And here we go. Welcome to episode 21 of The Huddle. Coming to you live from our Blue Bombers studios and live on the Blue Bombers YouTube page every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell. We need the subscribers. I'm your host, Ed Tait of BlueBombers.com. Pleased to be joined by Chris Kolankowski, the man in the middle of the Blue Bombers offensive line, the center, and an all-around good dude. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Appreciate you.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so part one of the show, as always, is the Coors Light Chill Chat, where we get a chance, fans get a chance to know a little bit about this week's guest, and it's brought to you by the official beer of the Blue Bombers, Coors Light.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors.
Chris, we like to start off with some riveting questions here. Hard hitters. Let's start with this one. Did you have a favorite player growing up or a favorite team?
When I started getting into football, I started watching NFL start. Like, obviously, I watched the Argos growing up and on TV, watch the NFL. And that's when the Eagles had, like, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, Brian Dawkins.
Yep.
So I kind of like watching that offense as a whole, watching Westbrook run the ball.
Right.
I was always inclined to like the run game,
Yeah.
even as a kid when I didn't really know football. So I'd say growing up, it was Brian Westbrook, and then watching the Argos growing up, like, obviously,
Yeah.
you like Pinball Clemens a lot.
Yeah.
Don't want to sound too cheesy or suck up, but Osh was on the team. He was a big name, so
Yeah.
a lot
That's
of
not
football.
cheesy or suck up.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
Don't want to be a kiss. Not going to finish that one.
Yeah. Did you? Are you still an Eagles fan then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough though. Like in season, it's hard for me to kind of spend time watching football outside of football, honestly.
Right.
Because if I'm watching NFL, it's kind of like, oh well, I should be watching film.
Yeah.
So I kind of get deep into the NFL.
After.
Once season ends, I really start watching a lot.
Yeah.
This year I haven't watched too much yet. Mostly focused on CFL.
You got to get into the NFL fantasy. We got an office pool.
I actually dropped out of all my fantasy leagues this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in 2, and I dropped out just because I have
too
no
much.
time to look in the draft and all that. Hockey fantasy, though, I love.
All right.
NHL fantasy, that's a good time.
Cam, get him set up.
Cam doesn't
Okay.
have a chance.
Right. Okay. Did you play any other sports growing up before you got into
A
football?
lot of hockey. I played hockey until I was 18.
Wow. Really, eh?
Yeah, like AA, AAA, A. Yeah, I loved hockey growing up.
What were you?
Right wing. And like our strategy, obviously, cross-ice dump to my corner.
Yeah.
Eventually, the defenseman stopped going for it. So I like to play physical. And then the rules started changing. Hockey started changing to where you can make a clean hit. It'd be a big one. And they just call a penalty because that's not the game anymore.
Right.
So
Plus, you get a reputation then.
Yeah, you get a reputation. Then the refs start to know you in the city.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, grade 7 started playing football, and you can really embrace that part of the game, and you get rewarded for it. You don't
Yeah.
get penalties. So I started really enjoying playing football more, and when you start liking hitting more and scoring goals, it's probably time to switch sports.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
kind of where the transition happened in high school.
Right on.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you remember getting from a coach, a parent, anybody?
Honestly, it's not really an individual piece of advice, but growing up playing hockey, I had a coach, Carlos Souza, and he just taught me like how to be a good teammate. He didn't let us get in any of the BS with the fights or the scrums. It was you're hurting the team. Team first, play the game the right way, and just work ethic. He'd call you out for it, make you work hard. And I think he really just instilled because he coached me for probably 12 years.
Wow.
From when I was like tyke hockey all the way up till I was like probably in grade 10.
Yeah.
On and off, but like 2 spurts of 6 years. And he's taught me how to be a good teammate, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's just years of being with him and him calling me out on my BS when I'd get in a mood or anything, calling me down when I get a little too hot.
Right.
He's teaching me how to like rein it in. Like we like the aggression, it has to be the right way though.
Yep.
So it's just kind of
Team
for
first.
me, team first. Yeah, like keep a level head.
Yeah.
It's like similar to stuff Osh preaches. Like he wasn't a hockey player growing up, Coach Carlos, but
Yeah.
he really was just big on leadership, and then he learned and taught himself a lot about hockey to be able to do it. Coached his kids, coached me growing up, and he's still coaching to this day in Toronto.
Wow. So
yeah.
it sounds like you were kind of introduced to a variation of FIFO very early, but it didn't
yeah.
call it FIFO.
Like big
obviously.
people, like if I took a stupid penalty retaliation,
Yeah.
like I was dead.
Okay.
Like even when I was like 8 or 9,
Yeah.
like he would give it to me if I took a retaliation
eh?
because I was always a
Yeah.
little bit on the hot end. So yeah, he kept me in line and just taught me how to channel it.
Okay. you're kind of cleaned up here, but I got to ask you about your hair. And it's
Yeah.
if you look at my haircut, I get jealous of other people with the big locks. What's with the Vikings look?
I always had in middle school, I started growing my hair out, and then seniors shaved it off in high school, like as a football rookie.
Yeah.
Kind of got dragged into the senior change room. They shaved it off. And then when I got to York, I grew it out again, and probably going to stick with it till I retire.
Yeah.
And then make a decision there, but yeah, I like it.
See, yeah, I was thinking that. Did you ever watch Vikings? Like you
Oh,
look
yeah.
like you could walk right on the set of Vikings and
Yeah, they actually filmed in Ontario.
Yeah.
But I was a couple of years too late, age-wise. If I was older, I probably would have been able to get on an extra there.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
an extra. Hell,
Yeah.
you could have been one of the kings on Vikings.
Oh, I
Ragnar
wish.
or whatever that guy's
That's a
name was.
dream right there.
Yeah, okay. So now that I've referenced Vikings,
Mhm.
if you could make a guest appearance on any TV show or be in a movie, what would you pick?
TV show. Let's go with we were just talking about it. I'm gonna have to go reality TV, Drive to Survive on Netflix.
F1.
Yeah, if I can make that Brad Pitt F1 movie, I mean, put me in a car, we're good to go.
Yeah.
I love F1.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about that because
Yeah.
there's a few of us in the office that are. I
Yeah.
got into it during the pandemic.
Yep.
I had nothing to do and started watching that show. And I know nothing about
Mm-hmm.
cars. I'm lucky when I fill up the car that I put it in the right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Don't have to
terrible.
put diesel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, how did you get into it?
Honestly, like, I've always been kind of curious about racing.
Yeah.
But at York, I actually hurt my ankle really bad, so I couldn't do anything. And then I was just playing PlayStation.
Yeah.
I saw the F1 game was on sale in 2015. Started playing the game, and then I started slowly watching races, and it just grew from there.
Yeah. And
But
you're
honestly, just playing the racing game, and then I started liking watching races. Now, I got the F1 TV subscription. I watch every race, every qualifying.
Yep.
Big Lewis Hamilton guy. He's the GOAT.
Yep.
Probably, honestly, more dominant career than Max Verstappen will ever have. And, just fell in love with it. It's
Yeah.
really entertaining.
I asked you this before we went on air, but so are you gonna cheer for Ferrari now too because Lewis is moving over?
Yeah, I'm Team Lewis, but Mercedes I think is going to stick my team.
Okay.
I like Toto, the way he runs things.
Yep.
If we're talking from a GM perspective, team principal.
Don't you guys have some sort of F1 thing in the locker room here?
It's slowed down this year.
Oh, it
a
is?
couple guys didn't bring up their sim rigs,
Oh,
but me, Dalton, Cam, we all have the full sim setup.
Yeah.
So I got racing wheel pedals
yeah,
with
my
my
son
computer.
has that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to get in the seat. And for me in the off season, you work out so hard, your body's tired. So it's a good way to be competitive while still resting your body and not putting more wear and tear on it.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, that's cool. I'm with you on the F1. Okay, this is a question I ask every week.
Mm-hmm.
Which guys make you laugh the most in the locker room? Who's the funniest dude in your opinion in there?
I'm not sure if I can narrow it down, but just the O-line room as a whole.
Oh yeah.
The dynamic is just outrageous sometimes. Stan, obviously he's a little quieter than me.
Yeah.
If I point one out. But he's just so subtle. Patty always gets me going. Liam, just with his one-liners.
Yeah.
Gabe Wallace, rookie, fits in perfectly. He just says some outrageous things sometimes. His little looks.
Yeah.
If something funny is said in the room, you see him put his shirt over his face and he gives you the eyes, and I just erupt. I can't keep it in. Marty's trying to coach, and we're just trying to keep ourselves contained. But just the O-line room dynamic during our meetings it's outstanding.
Yeah, you guys really are kind of a brotherhood within the brotherhood, aren't you? Yeah. We have the food questions every week too.
Mm-hmm.
What's your game day pregame meal?
I keep it simple. I just go Freshie.
Oh, yeah?
Freshie chicken bowl, just
Yeah.
rice, some vegetables.
Yeah.
Keep it really simple. I used to do subs. I used to do a foot-long cold cut, and I'd always eat about 7 inches of it and throw out the rest because I didn't want to be full.
Yeah.
But then I think last year I kept throwing up almost every game on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And Patty's bit was Subway is just too fresh. One time we were in Regina, they opened the vacuum sealed package. It's oh, it's fresh today, boys.
Yeah.
And I just puked all over the sideline at the bench in Regina. I think this is the week 2 one when Zach scrambled in for the touchdown in that game. And Patty was just yelling from beside me, "It's too fresh." So after that game, I went to Freshie because I was I can't keep doing this. It's just... it was rough.
The Bombers had a guy, an old lineman, Brett McNeil. He's in the Hall of Fame. His nickname was Lumpy because he had to puke before the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he puked all the time before the game.
It's not fun. Yeah. I
so-
try to avoid it.
Yeah. What would be your cheat meal?
Cheat meal? Pizza's always a safe bet.
Yeah.
But I think my absolute favorite meal, like takeout, jerk chicken, rice and peas. There's a place in Toronto, Allwin's Bakery. And I'm living here full time now.
Yeah.
But like last off season, like anytime I have a hard workout, hit a good PB, have a heavy squat day, killer cardio, I go straight there, get 2 jerk chicken sandwiches, a jerk chicken meal.
Yeah.
And it's everything you need.
Yeah.
Get some coleslaw with that.
You're
Yeah.
making me hungry.
It's so good.
How much do you have to eat to keep your weight? Because old linemen have to be at a certain.
Yeah. For me, that's probably my least favorite part
Yeah.
of playing football. Like my first year at York, I was a walk-on at York. And I showed up at about 217.
270.
217. I was like, I play center. So training camp was interesting.
Yeah.
I had something happen at work, so I wasn't medically cleared for the first like 10 days of a 14-day training camp. And when I got the chance, first play, I think I pancaked like a 300-pounder a couple yards downfield. He wasn't very good, but they were just like, oh my, like,
Yeah.
put on some weight. And I ended up starting week 2 at 215, going up against like McMaster, who just won the Vanier and all that, and like being able to hold on. And
Wow.
then the coach was like, just put on weight.
Yeah.
And then, so I ate like an animal that entire off season. Like I'd be setting alarms at 4 a.m. to wake up,
Really?
eat 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, have a 700-calorie shake. I'd be having breakfast, 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with half a tub of Greek yogurt, half liter of chocolate milk. And then I'd eat lunch. And then I do that again, finish the liter and then finish the Greek yogurt. And then I'd eat dinner, and then I'd have a second dinner. And then at 4 a.m. I'd wake up, do the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and a protein shake. And it got to the point where like I put on 65 pounds from November until August that year.
Oh my God.
And like in that off season in the summer, we were doing runs. We had a fantastic strength coach. They're both actually with the Montreal Canadiens now, Dale LeBlanc and Adam Douglas.
Yeah.
And they really helped me with how to do it. But in the off season, I was running. I was getting stretch marks. Obviously, I put on 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And they like split and started bleeding because
What the hell?
I just put on too much size. But it worked out. The next season, I had a great year. But yeah, for me, like it's a struggle for me to keep on weight. Like obviously, it's manageable.
Yeah.
But that's like the hardest part of playing O-line for me.
So-
Where the other guys like
Some
typically
guys
fight to stay low.
Right.
They put on weight easy.
Yeah.
I shed it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like I come in 10, 15 pounds heavier than I want to be for training camp because I
Right.
know I'll lose that over
Right.
the couple weeks.
So do you have to have a certain calorie count every day, or how do you know
For me, it's just eat.
Yeah.
I have no limit. It's whatever I can fit in, get it. Protein shakes, Greek yogurt, smoothies, like it's just nonstop. And then I just watch the scale, know if I need to scale back or up it a bit.
Right.
I think with me, it's just everything I can get in, I need to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm not really counting calories. I just try to keep it healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm
Okay.
having a meal, make sure there's good veggies, carb,
Yeah.
a lot of protein. It's just make sure the meal is healthy, but eat as much as I can every meal.
Right. So there's some guys I know over the years that would be listed at like 310, and you just giggle because they hadn't been 310 since like high school, right?
Yeah.
And then some guys that really have to work at keeping a weight, right?
Like my weight's pretty honest
Yeah.
on the depth chart, but
What is it again? I have nothing.
I think what was it like 308 or something this year?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
probably a little lighter than that, but not very much. Like still in the threes, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got to fight to keep it on.
So O-linemen are notorious big eaters. When
Yeah.
you guys go out
Yeah.
on the road, let's say, is it always like nobody's saying, let's go to that salad place over there, right? It's the red meat.
No, there's usually so me and Liam tend to get like a lunch before the dinner. So like we'll go Edmonton for example.
okay.
There's a place Dorinku Osaka on Jasper Street.
Okay.
Probably my favorite Japanese restaurant in the country. So that's a go-to before dinner, and then we go back to the room, chill for about an hour or so, and then we go usually for steaks.
And
with the
you're still
O-line.
hungry.
Yeah. Like we had an early dinner this week.
Okay.
So I got the steak at like 5:45. That's when we went to Steakhouse. Delicious. DOSC. It's a nice one. New one. I've never been there.
Okay.
And then I ordered the Japanese food around 10 o'clock.
Ah.
Yeah. Uber Eats it to the hotel.
So I was thinking about, I forget what's the comedian is. I think his name was John Panette or something. He used to,
Oh, yeah. He's funny.
Yeah. So
he's good.
you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever walk in as a group, at O-line, you walk into a steakhouse and they say, we can't, there's no way, we don't have enough food.
Yeah. No, people are usually pretty good. They embrace us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like probably the best place comes to mind, Joe Forte's in BC.
Yeah.
They love having us. And there's one server there that loves the Bombers from Winnipeg.
Oh,
And
yeah?
they're usually very accommodating. Like sometimes, Brady's notorious for, hey, can I join in? After not talking to us all week. And then we squeeze them in, they pull up an extra chair, anything for Brady. So yeah, he'll sneak in there. But they're usually accommodating. We show up with one too many or one too little. They're like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know they're gonna get the money out of us. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Which guy on the O-line can just put the food away and you just kind of go, wow, how does he?
Liam Dobson and Gabe Wallace.
Oh, yeah?
I've never seen someone eat like Gabe.
Really?
Have you heard about his sandwiches?
No.
So every morning he has 2 sandwiches, just toast with butter, a little cheese on it,
Yeah.
can of sardines.
What?
Yeah, chili oil sardines. He just eats 2 sardine sandwiches every day. Yeah.
Well, why would you even think that that's a thing to make?
He's a grizzly bear from Salmon Arm, BC. Just a big old grizzly bear eating sardines. Yeah, he's a monster. And then Liam, I remember we went to a steakhouse in Ottawa. He got like a 24-ounce tomahawk, something just insane, maybe even bigger. And the waitress is just like, hey, if you finish it all, I'll pay for it. And it's like a $300 steak. And I was like, you're making a bad bet. She's like, no, I'll do it. He won't be able to finish it. Of course, he crushes it, and he's too polite to say anything, so he pays for it. But like, it's just like, what do you like? Look at him.
Yeah.
This kid can eat.
Yeah, if I came in and sat down, that was a good bet. But
Yeah.
when Liam sits down,
Yeah,
yeah,
Like, just look at him.
I thought you were gonna say you ate 2.
Yeah, no, but he had that all the sides. Probably had an appetizer too. Like they can just put it down.
I remember being in college and the guy that could put away the most food, it actually became kind of a spectator event, right?
Yeah.
It just kind of people would sit around and their food would get cold and you watch this guy just,
Yeah,
it's so
like Liam will get one thing that's big, and then Gabe will go and order everything. So he'll have like the steak with the potatoes and a mac and cheese and like a lobster tail or two, like just a good spread. Where Liam just gets the biggest steak he can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 sardine sandwiches. Wow.
Bizarre.
You guys got to have a lot of breath mints in that old line.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah. He just comes in like, Gabe, you really do? Is it? Yeah. It's like, Gabe has a way of saying things.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Before I get to the road traveled thing, you kind of touched on your days at York. They're winning right now.
Yeah.
They're decent.
First win in 1,800 days, I think.
Yeah. Who's the coach now? Because it
Dexter
seems,
Janke, Bomber alumni.
Right.
Grey Cup champion.
yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you still stay in contact with your old school, the alum?
Oh,
the
there's
alumni?
one, Bart Zemanek. He's alumni relations, I believe now. I keep pretty good touch with him.
Yeah.
But actually, when they were going to announce Dexter as the head coach, they invited me out to dinner with them. So I got to talk to one of the alumnus who supports the program very heavily. A couple players I played with, Jamal Campbell, Janke's brother, played with him, his younger brother. And yeah, a couple guys I played with were there, and just got to meet Dexter. And it was pretty good to talk to him. I talked to the new AD, Alex. And yeah, pretty cool to just see their vision for it. It looks like they have a good plan. Kind of gave them my input for how to, just kind of what I think could have been done differently when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they have a good vision and a good plan, and like, not to say that they're not confident, but like a very realistic of like, you got to build it. It's not going to happen overnight, but that win's a great first step in the right direction. Yeah.
Would you ever think of becoming a coach one day, or is that something you'd think about doing?
I think so,
Yeah.
but also, I don't know, maybe when I'm done, I might have my fill and kind of be ready to try a different challenge.
Right.
But it's something that, like, once you get there, I'm sure I'm going to change my mind when I actually step away from the game and realize I still want to be involved.
Right.
So I don't want to commit to either one, really.
Yeah.
But I talked to them about that too.
Yeah.
Just like if I'd ever be interested. And it's kind of, I've done a lot of private coaching, like one-on-one coaching with O-line in Toronto, running some camps in Toronto. Like there's a gridiron football camp we've been doing for 3 years in Oshawa.
Mm-hmm.
We have like 50 kids every week.
right on.
And like I think 10 Saturdays throughout the winter. And me and a couple ex-CFL players got it going. It's a really good camp there.
Yeah. Let's go into the second part here now, the road traveled for you, Chris, because you mentioned that you, out of high school, you didn't have a bunch of nothing, eh?
Nothing.
So how did you get your foot in the door at York then as a 217-pound center?
One of my youth coaches was the running back coach there.
Yeah.
So he kind of helped me be like, you want to play here? Yeah. Kind of helped me get my academics up. I went to college for a year to get my grades up. It's because in high school, honestly, like it wasn't that it was hard. I just didn't try. I just wouldn't do assignments. I don't know why. But then football, if you don't go to school, it's over.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to play more football. Kind of the mentality was like hockey. I was always pretty good at it, but never really went the extra mile ever. I just worked hard on game days, had fun, and then I wouldn't go to camps, wouldn't really train. And so football kind of put in my mind when I was like 16 or 17, like don't be able to ask what if. What if I worked harder? What if I did that? So I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in on football, see what happens. That coach kind of saw it. He was like, you want to come to York? We'll let you be a walk-on, all that. And then just kind of worked my butt off for a while. Like I said, put on all that weight.
Yeah, when you're bleeding from stretch marks, that means you put on a lot.
Yeah, like completely changed my body. Yeah. Got really serious in the weight room to where I became the guy at York in the weight room. When I got there, I couldn't even bench 225, and I left, pretty much had most of the record board there. It was just kind of like, it just like a switch flipped in my head, and I just kind of committed all out.
It says here that you were you won the Tom Arnott Award for hard work and character.
Yeah,
right?
I think that was my second year there. Yeah,
and then the Mike Benavides Lyman of the Year Award. So for a guy that came in at 217 as a walk-on, that's you got to be pretty proud about that, right?
Yeah, it definitely worked out, and it's one of those things like even if it didn't work out CFL, like at least I would have known. Yeah, but everything kind of fell into place for a while there before it went back off the rails. But what did you? So that's kind of an important period, right, for you. What did you kind of find out about yourself when you're making that commitment at that age? Kind of, like I said, like with high school grades and all that, like I didn't really do too well in high school. Just honestly laziness. Yeah. There's no other really reason for it. It wasn't challenging or difficult. I just the structure of high school, it didn't really agree with who I was at the time. Right. And then kind of having football, like that being the goal, it made me smarten up. Like it was like, well, if you don't do that, you can't do what you love. And then all the hard work, it starts like when I talk to kids, it's kind of work hard at something you love, and then you learn all those lessons. It's easy to apply to other things. And that's kind of what I found with football. It was start working out, start training. Oh, football's easier. And I'm like, oh, maybe that'll work with school. So in university, I start doing the reading, start actually trying, start researching more. All of a sudden, my essays are going, marks are going great, exams are going great, everything's going great. It's just kind of just the lessons I learned from working hard in football made me just a better person. Right. Made me like, it showed me like work ethic matters. If you try hard, like anything's possible, as cheesy as that sounds. Grades went up through the roof. And then even like during COVID, when I had to go into the workplace for a bit there, like it even translated to there, just accountability, working hard, not walking away from something if you're not proud of the work. And it just showed that those lessons learned in football just like translated to everywhere in my life.
Do you have a degree then from?
Law and society.
Law and society.
Yeah, so the whole focus of it is looking at like legislation, seeing what the intended purpose of it is, but then in reality, what it actually does. So a lot of papers on that kind of stuff.
Well, it's funny because the locker room's open once a week to the media to go in to do interviews. And couple weeks ago, I'm in there and you're having this pretty, not heated, but a debate with Jamison Sheehan.
Oh, we get into it.
Yeah.
We got into the geopolitics a bit.
It was. Yeah. And I thought, what have I walked into a professor's lunchroom here or something? Because it was pretty heated. I just I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but
Yeah, and then we shake it up after, walk away, and then get ready for next week because we're going at it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So who picks the topics or just kind of random? How did you get?
Oh, just current events. We get into it a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then obviously to make it fun, we both take a pretty firm stance on either side. Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily what we think, it's fun to argue a bit. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was entertaining. We should put a camera on that because it
puts an extra 5 yards on his punts actually every week.
I think so, because he's so
light
angry.
Fire,
Yeah, okay. Okay, so drafted by Toronto in the 6th round in 2016. Yep. Well, that's the team that you kind of grew up.
Yeah.
So that must have been a big moment, right?
Yeah, it was really cool actually. Like, getting called by the Argos was growing up in Toronto. I played at York in Toronto. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have been a better fit to start. Don't have to move away, so I'm able to stay with my base with all my support, so I don't really have to deal with a new city or any distractions. So it was actually a pretty ideal fit being a young offensive lineman.
You still got a Kolankowski Argos jersey at home or something?
I got one framed in my place up here from the Grey Cup. Yeah, because we won it my 16. Then I got sent back to York, so my rookie year we won it in the Ottawa Snow game.
Yeah. Well, so what do you remember about your first CFL game? Period, not just that Grey Cup.
Preseason or regular season?
Either way.
I'd say so. Preseason. I'm just gonna go to training camp.
Okay.
So coming from York, obviously the D lineman I was going up against in my 4th year, not the best in the OUA to start. Like obviously some pretty decent players. And I think one of my first snaps in one-on-ones was against a Cowboys 4th round pick.
Ooh.
I don't think I snapped the ball and got up before he was gone.
Yeah.
So just like the speed of the game was insane. And then after about a week and a half in training camp, it started slowing down. And then my first start was 2016 preseason against Montreal, and they started their ones. So I was going up against John Michael Cash, John Bowman, Gabe Napton.
Yeah.
So they had some really good players out there, and it was fun.
Yep.
Yeah, held my own pretty well, but ended up getting sent back just numbers wise. But yeah, it's just the speed of the game and the intensity of it all. And obviously going up against those players from the NCAA and all that for the first time, like it's just a different level of speed and coordination you haven't seen in the OUA.
So you were in that Argos, the snow game, the Grey Cup in Ottawa.
Yeah, I was the 6th man for that game.
That was the Matt Black interception.
Yeah, Matt Black interception. Cash, Cleon Lang forced the fumble. Cassius Vaughn returned it.
And that was
Ricky
the
Ray
Shania
deep the
Twain.
depot. Shania Twain came on the sled.
Yeah. Okay.
My wife she saw some pretty good halftime shows.
Yeah.
She got the Lumineers. She got Green Day. She got Shania Twain.
Nice.
All these free concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Winnipeg signed you in 2020, right? And then after you got released by the Argos, then COVID hits.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this before. You kind of mentioned it. So you're working construction, I guess, right?
Yeah, I did a couple jobs. So they released me 2.5, 3 weeks before training camp in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I signed a deal in January. Thought everything was good. Training with Mick Ewan, who's in Calgary now. Training with him all off season, and then we trained for about 3 hours one day. Did some film work, and on the way home, got a call. Like, we're releasing you.
Mm-hmm.
So world upside down. Focused on football. Kept training until the end of training camps. And then by that point, it's like, hey, I need to work. Got a job in an industrial bakery for a bit as a floor lead. And then
what does that mean? What is
like the floor manager
Okay.
for like the production side of it.
Yeah.
Making sure everything's followed the Canadian Food Inspection Agency rules, lot numbers, all that, so you can track everything if there's a recall. Just making sure everything's done properly up to standards. And then September, so that was all summer. Still training full time. It's like 8-hour job, and then go train for 3 or 4 hours just in case I got a call. Got a couple calls from a couple coaches or GMs. My agent was still on my phone every week. And then September, I just quit the job. Agent told me it was a Bombers workout in Cincinnati. Ted said he'd waive the fee for me. So like, hey, I'll drive down. So I drove the 7.5 hours to Cincinnati, got a hotel room for myself, went to the workout the next day, went very well. Did one-on-ones and all that, no pads against young NCAA guys trying to get a look mostly. Did really well. Drove home and then started a geotechnical drilling job the next week. So like, just
you have to
truck,
explain that. Okay.
yeah, just a truck-mounted drill rig that pops up. You drill anywhere from 100 to 200 feet down, take samples the whole way. It's like pre-construction to see how deep they need to go with foundations. If it's a new build, taking environmental samples, making sure the soil's not contaminated. And that job was brutal. It was good money.
Yeah.
But you'd show up at 6 a.m. and you don't know when you're going to be done. Because you'd start drilling, you don't know what's in the ground. So if you were drilling till 8 p.m., you were stuck there because the drill's in it. You can't restart it. So it'd be some days I'd be working like 12 to 16 hours and then go to the gym after workout, go home, go to sleep, start it all over again. So that was about until mid-February. Bomber signed me. And then I walked away from that to focus on football again. And then COVID came, so that meant no football. So all summer kind of training, hoping that we're going to have a season. Season got canceled, time to find a new job, and then I got a manager job at a place called Yaya Foods, which was another food production place. Ended up being responsible for a bunch of high volume food production lines. You know the Campbell soup broth boxes?
Yeah.
We had a couple lines that made like 250 to 280,000 of those a day. So like we supplied all of Canada and the eastern seaboard of the US for like broth, and then we also made like Monster non-carbonated drinks, the little like Nestle squirt bottles to flavor your water.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff, like liquid food products.
Yeah.
So I did that, and that was actually a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Pay wasn't great because it was a third-party company, so they're always trying to cut as much cost as possible. But really good experience, and like that's where I found out, like,
Yeah.
the drive from football really helps you get somewhere.
So you're rattling off all these things, right?
Yeah.
After the release from the Argos and the jobs you did,
Yeah.
and going to a Bomber free agent camp, like you went a long time.
Yeah, I have it on
between
the
playing.
inside of my Grey Cup ring
Yeah,
from 2021.
yeah.
1,107 days between football games. So
Wow.
my last one with the Argos at Ottawa, last game of the season, 2018, we didn't make the playoffs, to Montreal, 2021, I think week 14 or 13.
Yeah, November 6th
Yeah.
says here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So 1,100 days between games.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I've talked to you about this before. That's perseverance written all over it.
Yeah.
How many times did you think, man, I want to play, but sometimes the doors things aren't lining
Yeah,
up.
it just kept going wrong,
Yeah.
honestly.
So what kept you at it?
I just knew I had more to give. I wasn't done. I still had the fire. I still wanted to work out, still wanted to play football. And like personally I wanted to, but then there were times where I was like, can I? And like there was one year when I was doing the drilling job, because I like took that time off for the workout, and the money was tight. Like obviously I had a pretty decent place in Toronto, a condo, and paying rent. Like they're like going into Christmas one year, I had like $17 in my bank account. And that was a time where I was like, okay, maybe it's time. And then COVID, the same thing. But each time, like I'm talking to my dad about it, and it's not so much that it should, like having that safety net of like him being like, hey, if anything really goes wrong, like you can't pay rent, we'll help you.
Right.
Like knowing that support's there.
Yeah.
And my wife understanding, like she had to help with rent a couple times, like my half of rent. And just having people around you, even my in-laws, like everyone just supported, like keep going if you still love it. And then one thing my dad said is like a 9 to 5 will always be there for you. Football, as soon as you're done, you'll never play it again, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like make sure you're really ready to walk away before you walk away. And yeah, just having that support helped me get through those moments, because there were weeks when I'd be at the gym just like, what am I doing?
Right.
But just finish the workout, just get it in.
Yeah.
Don't let it.
It sounds like your dad had what did he do? Why is his voice carry so much weight with you? What did he do for a living? Does he do for a living?
He did plant management.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like food production.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what got me interested in that, because I always saw him do it, and I kind of like the idea of like it's like daily goals you have to deal with, and there's long-term goals, and the emergencies every day you got to put in.
Yep.
And it just kind of helps a day go by fast. So that's why I ended up looking for that kind of work.
Right.
But yeah, he played football growing up. He played CJFL. He went to Ryerson and have a football team. So CJFL in Ontario was pretty big back then. It's not so big anymore, but yeah, he played football. So he kind of understood it, I think.
Right.
That, you know, once it's done, you're done.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about the 1107, right? On
yeah,
your ring?
yeah, on the Grey Cup ring there.
So that was 2021.
Yep.
So I can remember after the Grey Cup, everybody celebrating. And I don't know you very well, even though you've been on the team. And we're both have been celebrating for a while, celebrating.
Yep. Celebrating.
And then I kind of bumped into you at the bar, and then you and I chatted for about an hour. It was the first time I really got to know you.
Yeah.
But this is pretty powerful how you stuck to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. Like looking back, it was worth every second.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like the support from my family, but even like the gym owners. Like I went to a couple gyms in Toronto, West End Athletic Club. It's a boxing gym, and an Apex Training Center in North York. And what they did for me in COVID was unbelievable. Like once the gym shut down, I messaged the owner of Apex, Matt Pasquale, and he said, "Come take what you need." So like he let me just show up with my van, made 4 trips across the city. He gave me 550 pounds in weights,
Wow.
2 Olympic bars, squat rack, and I think 70s, 110s, and 130 dumbbells. And he just let me have it for free.
Because they're going to be closed.
They were closed.
Yeah.
He was like, look, you can use it. So like that, when I was working at the food plant, COVID resurgence came, they closed everything again. And the owner of West End just kind of left the key out back for me. So I could go in and train after work.
Wow.
And like that's, I think like if I didn't have access to those, I would have been like, well, what's the point? I'm falling out of shape. I can't do much anymore. I might as well focus on something else.
Yeah.
It's like the family, but also like the community I had around training and working out in the city just from going to these gyms for years. Like
Yep.
just stuff like that really made the difference. And you know, I always thank those guys whenever I see them. On my way home from 2021 or 2022, I bought my jersey here, and I just dropped it in the flower pot where the owner of Apex would leave the key for me.
Oh, yeah?
And I just took a picture. I said, check the flower pot. Has a signed jersey, real nice note on it. Like
Nice.
just, yeah, people who just supported me along the way through those times. Like they understood it. They saw I was working hard, so they did everything they could to help me. Like they really Took it on the chin for me.
It's a hell of a story, man. I mean, if Dexter Janke is wise, he'd have you speak to the football team.
I try to get back, but it's obviously tough in season.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
When you re-signed this winter,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had coming off a real good year. You probably could have played the market a little bit, but you were pretty open about this is where you wanted to be, right? Why did you not play the market? Because you're from Toronto. There's a couple teams in Southern Ontario. There's Ottawa. There's lots of reason for you to maybe want to be closer to home. But what was it about here that made you say, I don't want to be anywhere else?
I honestly think the biggest thing is the O-line room. Like there's days when I come in. The guys know I'm not really a morning person a lot of the time. And Eric always says I can tell when Chris is in a mood because he'll come in, I'll say good morning, and he'll walk right by me. I don't even really notice it.
Yeah.
But it's just as soon as you get in that O-line room, it's just someone will get you going. Someone will get you in a good mood. Someone will fire you up. And it happens every day. It's just like playing football. Sometimes it's like a normal job where you wake up, you're like, not really what I want to be doing today.
Yep.
Tired, body hurts, got stuff to do at home, but got to go to work. But you come here and it doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
Like I'm just hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
I have a coach here that believes in me. He believed in me when I came back in 21. When I came back in 21, remember training camp didn't go as well as I planned. But Ocean Kyle, they wanted to put me on the PR, and they're like, you just need time to knock the rust off. Like, we believe in you, know what you can do.
Right.
It's going to take time, so we think it's worth sticking around.
Right.
That held a lot of weight. And then just Marty believing in me when Mike went down and rolling with me in 22 after that. It's where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with another room. Love the city. As long as I'm playing football, I might as well play in the most fun city to play it rather than going back to Ontario where, there's good crowds, but it's not Winnipeg, let's be honest.
Yeah, this Friday is going to be wild again, right?
Yeah, like every game here is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Your wife, Rihanna, right?
Yep.
Your daughter's Delilah?
Little Deli.
She was born this winter, right?
Yeah, January 7th.
How's being a dad?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it changed you at all? Your outlook or anything?
Probably a bit. I don't know, I guess I'm a little gentler now, having a daughter.
Yeah.
Doesn't really change much on the field, but just kind of, activities kind of change. Like a good day off is getting together with other guys on the team with their families and having the kids play.
Right.
But yeah, I love it. Like I'm going to go home today, open the door, and I know she's going to be looking at the door, and as soon as she sees me, she's going to scream, bury her face because she's so shy for a second, and then start crawling towards me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
When you talk about here and you talk about Marty and Mike and Kyle, and it must be validation for sticking to it, right? Because you could be doing something else right now.
Yeah. It was worth it. Like I'm having fun doing exactly what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be in front of 32,000 people playing the game I love. Like it's beside some of my best friends.
Yeah.
Like guys who I'd call if I ever need anything.
Yeah.
And it's just a good time. Like it's worth it. It was a long time, but it was worth every workout alone at night there.
No kidding. You got a couple rings to show for it too, right? So, okay, we'll get, this is the jersey giveaway part, right, Josh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll take a couple questions from
We're gonna
fans.
take some questions too. And we got a new sponsor. We got a new sponsor on the show today. And going forward, right in the jersey giveaway section, that's Duron Equipment. They're a supplier of Bobcats and all sorts of machinery and stuff like that. So they're fresh bomber partners, and we have a spot from them today that we're gonna run while the entries are coming in for the jersey giveaway. But we are giving away a number 67 jersey.
Oh, lucky fan!
Custom order to the store.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that in just a second. And we're going to take some questions right now as well. So we're going to do the jersey giveaway too. But let's get to that right now. So if you want to win the Chris Kolankowski jersey, you just have to put Chris in the chat and your jersey size. Chris and your jersey size. You have to be able to come pick it up from the store. That's the only thing. You got to be able to come and get it from the ticketing counter, and it'll be ready 2 Fridays from now. But I would give the store a call first, just to make sure that it's there for you. So Chris and your jersey size in chat, and while those are rolling in, I'm going to see if I can run this ad first time. Hopefully it works. We'll see what happens here. Just give me a second.
What's up, guys? I'm Joel Atarski.
And I'm Zach Loris.
And we're here at the brand new Duron Bobcat of Central Manitoba.
The Bombers have partnered with Duron Equipment to bring you the best in heavy machinery.
I'm gonna restart it, and then we're gonna rock.
Guys, I'm Joel Latarski,
And I'm Zach Halaris.
and we're here at the brand new Duron Bobcat of Central Manitoba.
The Bombers have partnered with Duron Equipment to bring you the best in heavy machinery and more.
Duron Equipment helps you with the heavy lifting. They provide top-tier machinery, unparalleled service, and expert solutions. They're more than just a dealership. They're your partner in every project.
No heavy lifting for us today.
Duron's got it covered.
Duron Equipment, proud partners of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Thanks to Duron Equipment for stepping up. Now we got two sponsors, Coors Light and Duron Equipment. Appreciate that.
That's it. All right. While these entries are rolling in, we're gonna hop into a couple questions here. And the first one is from Janelle, and she says, "Do you have any pregame superstitions?"
No, I used to have a big routine when I was young, and it was very specific of what I do when. And I kind of got away from all of that just because I feel like if I have superstitions or a routine, it leaves more room for stuff to kind of mess with me. So I'm pretty flexible in everything pregame. So like I have a loose plan of what I want to do, but I don't really let it get to me because I feel like something goes wrong. Like the bus is late. For some reason, you can't get the meal you want. It kind of just leaves room for other stuff to affect you.
Gets in your head.
Yeah, so I eliminated every routine and just kind of go with the flow, however it works. Like we like to go out for like a pre-warm-up with the O-line an hour before. That's about it right there. I just don't want to give anything the opportunity to get in my head at all.
You don't want to be making the puking a pre.
No, don't want that one. That would be bad for the teeth.
Okay.
It's very superstitious. Pre warm up.
Watch out. An hour before, got to get the boys going.
That's great. Okay, next one is from Scott, and he says, "Any tips for snapping a ball if you're a high school center?" So I guess a little bit more fundamentals. What do you have for the kids?
I say keep your wrist straight to start because a lot of people. I was actually working with a center from Dakota last week about that. So like a lot of guys will start with their wrist kind of cocked already. And I feel like that when you do that, when you throw your hand between, you're giving yourself like another 30 degrees of movement to kind of be a variable of where the ball's going. So kind of just use your arm, your shoulder, your elbow, but don't use your wrist because if you flick your wrist, it's going to end up going high and to the side of your snapping arm. So if you snap your wrist and you snap right-handed, it's going to go high right. If you snap left-handed, it's going to go high left. So kind of just take your wrist out of it and it'll eliminate the variable of where the ball's going to go. Just take out all the variables.
It's like a lever then almost.
Yeah, it's just straight arm, let it
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Wow, that's a
and as
good
you
tip.
get more comfortable, you can throw your own touch on it. But if you're learning, just keep it as simple as possible.
It's a good question.
It's
Yeah.
a great question. And we have our winner, our random winner selected, and it's Janelle Hofer. Janelle Hofer,
Congratulations.
on your Chris Kolankowski jersey. Like I said, 2 Fridays from now, we got to get that thing drawn up for you. So give us a couple weeks here, and then just call the store and confirm that they have it. Wouldn't want you to make a trip in for it not to be ready yet. So just call and confirm for sure. But 2 Fridays, ticket encounter inside the Bomber store, and that'll be ready. And thanks everyone, of course, for hanging out and entering the giveaway. We got some more stuff, so drop some more questions in chat. But we're gonna keep on rolling through. We got some more questions for later, but I'm sure more will roll in. So I'll pass it back over to you, Ed.
Right on. Let's talk about this year's bunch.
Yep.
This team. It's interesting. I'm going to be writing a story on this later. The CFL sends out its a weekly playoff scenarios email, and it says, with a win this week, the Bombers clinch the playoffs. And so that question came up with a few of the guys today after practice with the media, and nobody seems to be aware of it. Or it's not that you don't care, but it's important to make the playoffs, clearly, but it's not the way you guys operate, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's interesting because everybody's fixating on, they were 0-4 and they're 2-6. I certainly was. What has happened in your mind that here we are with a chance, we're in first place and a chance to clinch a playoff spot? What do you like about sort of what you've seen from 0-4 to where we are now?
I just feel like we didn't try to change too much. Like we just trust the process, know what we need to do. We've done it before the last couple of years. Like we know what needs to be done to win in this league. And it wasn't, we didn't start chasing for stuff, looking for answers. It was just, let's trust the process, get back to the details, get back to what we're good at. And that's what I really like. Like we were 0-4. but it was pretty calm. Like it wasn't. I didn't feel like that panic set in with the players. Didn't set in with the O-line. Didn't set in with 8. It was just focused, like knowing, okay, we know what we can do. Let's just focus on what we've done in the past, follow the process, still pay attention to details, but we didn't start reaching for stuff, and it all fell into place like we knew it probably would.
Yeah.
So
At the beginning of the year, too, the O-line was under the microscope a little bit.
Yep.
People were saying what's going on. But, again, it sounds like lock in and get it cleaned up. And
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like win or loss, there's a lot you can learn from each game. Like last game, there's stuff we can learn from. 2 games ago, there's stuff we can learn from. Just as much as we could have the first game, second game, third game, and fourth game. There's always stuff you can learn from, and we just have to look at every game the same way.
Right.
Find the mistakes, correct them. Find the technique you need to fix, correct them with drills and throughout the week. It's just no one broke focus of that. No one started panicking or trying to do more. Like you just have to do your job. Trust the guy beside you will do his. And that's how the O-line works. And that's how football works. So
Yeah.
it was everyone just stayed locked in on what we have to do individually and what we need to do as a unit, especially the O-line. Such a cohesive unit. We need to work together, and we found a way to fix the mistakes we made and clean it up.
That's what I find cool about this team is that there's that kind of approach in every position group.
Yeah.
Like there's leaders in every position group. And so in a lot of ways, watching this unfold the way it has, doesn't it seem like there's a silver lining to 0-4 and 2-6 in that now there's young guys that got into the lineup, have got playing time, or starters, or becoming stars. And, every team's got to undergo a transformation. Sometimes that happens in the off season. For you guys, a lot of that's happened in season. And now here we are. And I don't know about you, but it feels like there's still a couple of gears that this team could get to, right?
Yeah, it's just building up to be hot at the right time. And I feel like every week we're building it, showing a little more of what we can do. And yeah, adversity early, like definitely not a bad thing. Better early than late.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave us a lot of opportunities to kind of reflect on what we need to improve on, what we need to kind of nip in the butt. And I think everyone responded perfectly.
Yep.
It's just a matter of the coaches kind of framing it the right way, our veterans doing it the right way. Like in the O-line room, we have Patty and Stan. Like those are 2 vets who have seen it all, been through it all, been in winning locker rooms, been in losing locker rooms. Like they've seen everything. So they really bring a level-headed approach to everything. Be like, guys, don't panic. Like we're good. Just keep working and it'll fall into place. So I think just the calmness of it all.
When in the winter, when free agency comes and Jamarcus Hardrick is leaving, when Janarian Grant doesn't re-sign, when Rasheed Bailey is moving on, the club is moving on, you know that you're going to get changed, that the locker room's going to be different. But it does seem like this base somehow keeps it together, right?
Yeah.
Even with change, there's enough guys there that understand the culture to keep it right.
Exactly.
Is that how you see it?
Yeah. And then, like in the O-line room, we've always had Stan and Patty. Obviously, losing Jamarcus is a hit to the energy in the room. But we found a way to bring it back up. And, we brought in Eric. And Eric was here before, so we knew exactly what kind of person we were getting, which was ideal. We all love Eric. But yeah, people just find a way to step up in different ways. We bring in rookies who have energy, bring in guys like Tony Jones. I can't say enough good things about him.
Right.
He came in a couple weeks into the season, and everyone knows him. Everyone knows his name now in Winnipeg. Hell of a player.
Hell of a game last week.
Hell of a game last week. But like he comes into the room, he was already a dog. But then he has guys like Big Hill and Kyrie who have been here a while to show, okay, this is what it's like in Winnipeg. And it didn't take him long. He's a great teammate, great player. But it's just an example of like you can get guys from another team in the league and they fit in right away. I really think we do a good job of bringing in the right kind of people that will fit in with the way things have been done here for a while.
Yeah.
Since before I got here.
Yeah. It's funny. I brought this up with guys in the past, and you hear lots of people talk about the Bomber culture, right, and FIFO and all that stuff. And sometimes you just roll your eyes, like, you, as an outsider, you say, well, is this really real? And then enough new people come in and they talk about it that it's got to be a sense of pride. And one of the best things I think O'Shea has probably done is just let you guys run that room.
Yeah.
Is that what you've seen too then?
Yeah. Like the guys who have been here for a while really have a lot of say in how things are done. And they just do a great job of bringing in the young guys and getting them up to standard. But again, the guys that we're getting, I think, are a great group. Like, look at our rookie in the O-line room. Gabe fits in immediately. Liam came in 3 years ago. Right away, we knew he was going to fit in perfectly. Eric, when we got him as a free agent in 22, I think was his first stint here, fit in immediately. Like
Right.
we've never really had issues with guys. Now I'm not sure if it's the room or the quality of guys we bring in, but we always find a way to make it work. And just everyone comes here, end up really liking the way things are done, and they want to stay.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not always possible, but for the most part, guys will do what they can to stay. And if they can't, it's a mutual and respectful handshake.
I'll have to get Gabe on the show one time to talk about the sardine sandwiches because it's just
That'll be an
freaking me out
interview.
a
That'll
little
be a
bit.
good interview.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Gabe Wallace.
Yeah. We got any more questions from the fans, Josh, before we wrap
you ready
this
to
up?
roll on to some
Yeah,
fan questions?
let's do that.
Cool. Let's make it happen. Yeah, we got lots of people hanging out still, which is awesome. Some great questions. First one that jumped out to me was from Vicky, and she wants to know, maybe you have an interesting take on this. She said, is center your favorite position on the O-line?
Yeah, by far.
Have you tried any other positions?
Yeah, I played guard a lot in college just because like guard's a more physical position. Tackles, you need to be, you're going up against a better athlete at tackle. Guard, you're in more one-on-one blocks. But I like center because it's kind of like, the thing I always say is that like every other sport's checkers, football's chess. Like in terms of complexity of the game, people don't understand the details involved with football unless you've really been in it. Like any offensive lineman, if your footwork, if you take a step and you go 6 inches out instead of 6 inches out and 6 inches back, that can be the difference from the whole play working or being blown up in the backfield. Like it's that detailed. Everyone has to take the perfect steps to get going in their own way. Everybody's body's different, so you do it in different ways. But just it's a matter of 6 inches of your first step on the play can ruin the entire play for everybody on the field. The amount of time and prep put into it, center's huge on the mental prep in terms of knowing what the defense is going to do, how the defensive coordinator calls plays, knowing what's going to happen by if one guy in the field's where he usually is or if he's 4 or 5 yards to the left or right, how that changes everything and what you've seen on film, what's going to come next. And I really like that part of center because you're playing the game of chess out there. And then when you snap the ball, now it's time to be a savage and beat the hell out of the guy in front of you. So I really like the balance of like you have the physical aspect of it, but then there's also a heavy mental load, kind of where you're directing traffic, getting everyone on the same page before the ball snapped.
Is there a bigger onus on you as the center to communicate, or does everyone kind of have an equal responsibility, or is there more that comes from being a center?
I feel like the center makes the bottom line call. So like whatever I say, the other guys are expected to listen to the call, which we do a fantastic job of doing. But the whole time we're on the line, I have Eric telling me what he's seeing. Stan always tells me what he's seeing. Patty's helping communicate. Liam's helping communicate. And I kind of take what I'm seeing, hear what they're saying, and put it together to get the right call out based on the play call, the formations, the motions, everything personnel-wise. But it's kind of it all comes to the center, and then you got to make the call, get everyone on the same page. And that responsibility comes with you get that respect from your line mates by being accountable for it because they know that if you make a call and it's the wrong call, and they make a mistake, when you get to the meetings, instead of them getting chewed out, you're going to own up to the mistake. And that's what it comes with, the trust of knowing that if you make a call that's wrong, you're going to be accountable for it. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I called this and he messed it up. It's like, no, this was the call I made. I put him in a bad spot. So that's on me. And the coaches don't know that till that meeting. So it's kind of, you got to earn the trust of the people around you, knowing that if you make the wrong call, you'll own up on it. So that way, no matter what call I make, even if they're not sure if it's the right one, I know they'll be 100% in on that call to get us on the same page, because the biggest thing is being on the same page. Even if you're wrong, as long as everyone's on the same page, you have a chance. So it's kind of center. You really got to be vocal, be concise, be clear, be loud, and make sure everyone knows exactly what we're trying to do as a unit out there. And that includes everyone involved with the blocking. So Brady, Demmer when he comes in and does some, Casey when he's on a lead, everyone has to know what we're doing. So it
It's
starts
a little more than just snap the ball and go.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah. You're setting the protections, you're setting the run blocking, just based on what you're seeing in the D-line, the secondary, the linebackers, and all that. So, yeah, a lot more of a mental game at center. Where
Right on.
guards, obviously Patty's a very smart player, and he helps me a lot out there. But guards can do more of a, listen to the center, okay, now I'm just going to do my job and kill this guy. Where center, you're thinking until the ball snapped.
Right.
But obviously we have a unique guard with Patty who knows so much that he really helps there. And same with Stan at left tackle. They don't just turn their brains off and listen. They help a lot out there.
Right on.
Yeah.
The next question is, did they say, Chris, thoughts on the chicken box?
Chicken box. I'm not at liberty to discuss the chicken box, but we're going to try and get back in the chicken box next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Brady explained the chicken box. Some
He
people-
explained it?
Yeah, he did after the game. Because he said that Lucky Whitehead called the end zone the chicken box or the chicken coop, and you got to get in.
We got to get in the chicken box.
and then that's
Yeah.
why the dance
The
happened.
end zone's the
right?
chicken box, yeah.
Okay.
We got to get the dog in the chicken box.
Yeah.
This next question's from Steen Reimer, and he wants to know what your dream car is.
Dream car. gotta
Lewis's
be-
car.
Like I love Mercedes. I love Mercedes. Their supercars are quite impressive, but I'm also inclined. I like Porsches a lot. Get a 911 Turbo. I mean, that's a fast car. I like that. They're sleek. I like Porsches. So, any Porsche salesman out there wants to hook me up in the off season, I mean,
Nice segue.
Get your
I
plug-
will.
get your
I'll
plug.
drive your car, man. You can put whatever you want on it. I'll drive that Porsche around. Don't worry. Shooter's gonna shoot, right?
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Next question is, what do you do when you have a free day in Winnipeg? What do you do?
Honestly, now it's a lot of family time, helping out, giving my wife a little bit of a break, let her get what she wants done, so I can watch our daughter as much as I can. I guess that's what changed since being a father is
Yeah.
a day off. So what can I do with my wife and my daughter rather than asking the boys what they're doing?
Right.
Obviously, we find a way to still have time with the fellas, but yeah, off day is family priority now. Changed a little bit from the last couple of years, especially. This is the first year my family's moved out with me.
Yeah.
Like my wife has always worked in Toronto, and I'll come out here for season, then go back home in the off season. But everyone's out here this year, so
Nice.
it's really nice.
Yeah, right on.
That's awesome. And then I think we're gonna wrap up with just maybe one or two more. Derek wants to know, what's your favorite food at the stadium? You ever get to eat at the stadium the same stuff that the fans get to eat?
I mean, I like the chicken fingers. And my wife told me about them, so I tried them. The chicken fingers with the honey dill. We don't have honey dill in Ontario. I didn't know that was a thing till I got here. There's something special in that. So, honey dill with some chicken fingers is a good time. Manitoba does
That's
it
a
right with that.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure do. And then we'll just end off with this one. And this question is, what's your favorite part about playing in front of the CFL's loudest fans?
Just the noise. It is insane. Like we understand the noise when we go to Sask. We're on the silent cadence doing all that stuff. And it's different here though. Like it's loud in Sask, but like you don't feel it in your body like you do here. Like if I'm sitting beside Liam and Patty on the bench while our defense is on the field, like we can't talk. We're screaming at each other. And like I obviously started my career in Toronto. That was fun being at home, playing in front of my family, playing for the team I grew up watching. Obviously a good time, but you get the crowd's what it is. So out here, that's why another reason why I really wanted to come back. Like I might as well play where it's the best football atmosphere. And I honestly feel like it's the best atmosphere for sports in Canada. Like Banjo Bowl, I've never seen anything like that in Canada before. Been to a lot of hockey games, and just nothing compares to the atmosphere on game day here. Yeah. Best sports atmosphere in Canada, there's no doubt.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, well, listen, thanks a ton for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. A short week, like two full practices on a short week. So for you to squeeze this in has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it very much. We will be back next Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Blue Bombers YouTube page. Join us every Tuesday at 3, except for bye weeks, for the Huddle. And please like and subscribe and ring that bell and all that stuff that Josh tells me I should say every week. Thanks for joining us, Bomber fans. See you at the game on Friday.